So James Baker, as we had the recap we did 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday night, the storm was beginning to arrive in Orlando. This is around 3:30 right now on Sunday, being recorded. How are things in Orlando right now?
Just really wet. A lot of rain, overcast skies, occasional wind gusts, but we're not really supposed to get much until later this evening. Fortunately, the path of the hurricane is such that it's still moving, further west. So, places like Orlando that are further inland. I mean, there's about 1,000 lakes around us, but we're about 80 miles on either side from the shore. So we should be pretty good up here. We're prepared to ride out a windy night, but I think the potential for anything major or bad is really dissipated, and so we're all thankful for that. And the kids are just happy that they don't have school until Wednesday.
So there's weather. Let's go to sports. And at this point, we have a running back from a game yesterday that had a magnificent performance, 167 yards rushing and a touchdown and a win versus Cortland, another 7 yards receiving as well. But we're focusing on that run game that he had. Why don't you introduce him?
Well, from Framingham State, we'd like to welcome junior running back Quron Wright. Welcome to In the Huddle.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good, thank you. Yeah, and you got to be doing pretty well after that big win yesterday. And as usual, we try to talk about the game first a little bit. And the game flow was kind of a back and forth scenario. I called this one out to you, James, I think around the second quarter. I said, Framingham State is trying to make a statement here. And, I started to lose focus of the game a little bit. And then suddenly I saw as the lead was taken for good, basically, by your team. Tell us about the game flow there. What were the coaches saying on the sideline? How were you feeling about the game? Did you think Cortland was going to maybe try to, pull some momentum and come back in that game? And what were you doing to stop them from doing so?
Well, Cortland's always a big game for us. And we knew, we just going to have to go out there and execute. And during the game, at first, we got out to a pretty slow start, but we knew we had to be patient, and things started clicking from then.
So, Quron, this is the second week in a row now you've rushed for over 100 yards. Actually, I think the yardage totals that you had almost equal your average. You've had about 168 yards. I mean, but you guys are also able to pass the ball. What do you think has been clicking so far this year with the offense that makes the attack so balanced?
Well, we have great receivers, so if we want to throw the ball, we could always just throw the ball. But our line, we've been working really hard and just trying to find that right balance from the run game and the pass game, and it's been working well so far.
Quron, the whole idea over the last decade or so has been, those New England teams, they're more teams suddenly, but, things are not as high level in the New England football sphere. That was what was being said for a number of years. And when you have a day like yesterday where we saw Salve beat Montclair, Springfield beat Kane, and then your win as well. This one to me probably was the most resounding scenario of this, Framingham State beating Cortland. I mean, is there kind of a grudge feeling about all this, maybe not dissing, but downplaying of New England football? And is a team like yours right now saying, hey, we are part of this party here, don't think that you're going to keep us out of this whole thing?
Yeah, definitely. That's why being Cortland definitely would give us a little bit more respect on that end. But yeah, definitely we just wanted to show that we could play too. We have a lot of skills out there.
And we're in the huddle with Quron Wright, junior running back from Framingham State. James?
Well, it doesn't get any easier for you guys. You start off with playing a tough Endicott team, and then you take on Cortland, and now in week 3 coming up, you're basically in a conference championship kind of rematch. Bridgewater State has had a couple of tough 1-point losses. I doubt that you feel much sympathy for them, though, because they managed to squeak by you guys last season 28-7 in a very exciting game. You got a Bears team that you got to play in week 3 that really needs a win. It's kind of, you're both back to 0-0, even though technically your record is 2-0 and they're 0-2, but really it's an 0-0 game with a lot riding on it. How does the team feel about week 3?
He smiled when he said no sympathy, by the way, I saw in the other camera angle, so they're definitely not going to have sympathy for them.
No way, man.
No, we definitely this week is going to be a big week for us in practice. You can't take them lightly. We know then like that game is going to be a big game. They're going to come out flying. We're going to come out flying, but we definitely do want revenge from last season, and we're looking forward to that.
Definitely going to be one of the big games of week 3, Frank.
Definitely. Now, Worcester, Mass. Is home for you. We want to talk about how you landed at Framingham State, and I think you went to Holy Name in terms of high school and everything. Kind of lead us to your path to Framingham State, and your name has been tossed around, obviously, before this season. You were a player that has a great caliber, performance historically, but it seems like this season you are definitely going to a different level of sorts, it feels like. But tell us first how you got to Framingham State, and then tell us a little bit about what's driving you this season. What was your view coming into the season?
I transferred from URI during like the middle of August, and so I was sitting in a community college when Coach Baum called me saying, basically telling me to get my grades right, getting the classes done so I could transfer to Framingham State. And I came here, and I love it. And this season, I was like, for the past 2 seasons, I was like sitting behind 2 great seniors. And so this season, I really want to show that I'm still here and I can still play football at a high level.
Well, I mean, there's a testament right there. In Division III, it becomes an academic first type of scenario for a lot of these schools, and it sounds like you got your focus together and you're excelling both on and off the field. So congratulations for that, James. I know you have a little bit more in terms of questions to interrogate him with here.
Yeah, well, I mean, Quron, you're a psychology major, so. Tell us a little bit about the psychology of getting prepped up for a championship game. Kind of what this week's schedule of events looks like for the Rams as they prepare for the Bears.
Well, definitely just this whole week of practice, we're gonna have to stay focused. Take this whole week seriously and make sure that our players, we're getting the treatment after practice, so come game day we're ready. And just know. We didn't forget what they did to us last season, and they won the championship on our home field by a point. So that's definitely gonna be in the back of our minds this week during practice, and we're just gonna have to really stay focused.
So, Quron, we have now what we've coined after 1 week of doing our video interviews here, because we used to be an all-audio show before the season. It's the Joe Germinario Challenge. So you've beaten an E8 team on the field. Now it's time to beat another E8 team on our show. Last week, Joe had 2,600 views of his video on Facebook, and I think you can definitely beat this. And Larry, who's with you there, who we want to thank for helping arrange this as well, we think that he has the ability to push this out there on Framingham State's social media, etc., to beat that number. So you'll beat Brockport in a different kind of way, but they're a good team this season, so you'll take the wins where you can, I'm sure. But this is what I'm setting up. Exactly. Well, here's my setup here, because we give the player guest shout-outs. So the more shout-outs you give is, from what I understand, the more chance there is that views will be had and shares and everything else. So Quron Wright, after a huge win versus Cortland yesterday, the floor is yours for shout-outs.
First, shout out my mom and my dad for always supporting me. And my boys back home, Isaiah, Daniel, Bassett, and Kyle, can't forget Kyle, and my boys on the football team. I could name everyone on the football team, but
go ahead.
Nat, Quay, Nas, Seabass, those are my guys right there.
I like it. I think that's going to be enough to get you near the 2,600 plus views that you need to beat here. And if you don't beat it, maybe we'll have to have another Framingham State player on to see if they can beat it at some point. But I think my faith is in you, my friend. I think you got this. So, but focus on the team.
Worcester's a good town, man. My little sister lived there. My cousin Sarah and her husband lived just outside of Worcester. Quron, did you grow up like a Patriots and Red Sox guy, or you got family influences from other places?
Growing up, my cousin was a Colts fan, so and right now I'm a Colts fan. I don't really like the Patriots too much.
Oh wow! They're winning about 1,000 views right there, right out the window.
That's all good. That's all good. So many people hate the Patriots. It's fine.
Our Midwestern viewers just picked up quite a bit after that one. But Quron, as I was saying earlier, focus on the game ahead here. Bridgewater State's obviously a very good team and down but not out, but down by 2 points total basically, but not out. So you guys have a challenge ahead of you. But continued luck to you and your team. Your performances have not gone unnoticed, and that's why you're with us here on In the Huddle. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, James, at this point, we're going to tell folks to look for a coach interview probably tomorrow, or Monday. If you're not watching this on Sunday, we'll also have Crunch Time on Monday. You've already seen, if you haven't seen it already, you're going to have our review or recap, basically, or host chat as we call it, as well on our Facebook channel. So until then, I wish you luck, my friend, with this storm coming through. Be safe out there, please.
Yeah, no, if we have power and Wi-Fi tomorrow, we'll be good to go. Otherwise, you might be doing the coach interview by yourself. We'll see.
While we did this, actually, there was a tornado warning being given to University of Miami. I get the auto notifications because I teach down there every January. So they are actually facing tornadoes on the eastern side of the storm, which is normally what happens on the eastern side of these storms. So be safe, my friend, and we will talk to you soon. Hunker down if you need to.
All right.